The bridge is already fitted and is fixed with these 4 screws. The holes for the 2 extra screws must be pre-drilled with a 1.5mm drill bit. You will need a medium-sized Phillips crosshead screwdriver for the installation. First, you should loosen the strings and then remove the original saddles. Pay attention to the order of the saddles on the original packaging. Here comes E1, D4, A5. Position the saddles on the bridge plate in the same configuration as in the packaging. Use the length adjustment screws to approximately set the position of the bridge saddles. Measure the distance between the inner edge of the nut and the center of the 12th fret, and then use this distance to determine the correct position of the saddle. In other words, set the first saddle so that the end of the string slot for the high E string is approximately the same distance from the 12th fret as from the nut to the 12th fret. With a Telecaster, that is about 324mm, 12.75 inches, the scale length being 648mm or 25.5 inches from nut to bridge. Position the middle saddle, G and D strings. Here is the break point for the D string, a further 1.5mm away from the nut, and the third saddle a further 1.5mm. The saddle marked with an A is filed down on one side so that the saddle next to it is not pushed away when a curved fingerboard radius, for example 7.25, is used. By the way, when you use a wound G string, you should swap the middle and the A saddle over and turn the outer saddle, which was in the middle position, over. Here we can see how the saddles are positioned for a standard right-hander using a plain G string. When you are left-handed, simply flip the first saddle over and then swap the middle saddle with the outer saddle. The saddle marked with an A should now be in the middle. G and D strings. The middle saddle is now on the outside, E and B strings. Here we can see how the saddles are positioned for a left-hander, remembering of course that the strings would be the other way around. Here also it is 324mm from the middle of the 12th fret to the beginning of the slot for the high E string. Back to the setup for right-hander. Using a ruler, measure the approximate height of the saddle. And then choose the appropriate length screws. The screws should not stick out of the top of the saddles to avoid injury to your hand. Roughly tune the strings. Now you only have to set the bridge radius, check the height of the nut and the neck relief, and then we can begin to set the octave intonation.